Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie, and today we're talking about the Burton Waverange X, a boot that is incredibly soft. Takes away almost all of the response you get with step-on, has limited shock absorption, no real ankle support. It's going to be hard to repair if you break the BOA, but it has a nice lateral flex from tip to tail, and it doesn't give you that locked-in feel to the high back like most step-on boots do. It's for those who want a mellow park or a really soft flexing boot for a more purist snow surf feel. I rode this with the Burton Counterbalance, the Burton Cartel X Step-On EST, and my good old Union Atlas step-ons, the binding I use to test most step-on boots with. And this is an honest, objective review with zero brand oversight from Burton. I want these reviews to be for the consumer and for nobody else. I can do that thanks to reader support like yourself and shops like Blower Board Shop that are supporting the Good Ride. They've been selling so long, Jake Burton was their sales rep at first, and they're competing with all the other big online stores in terms of customer support, delivery, and price matching. So if you click through our links to Blower Board Shop and buy something, it really helps both of us out. Now let's talk weight. These are 2 pounds, 3 ounces. In comparison, they're definitely lighter than the older step-on boots like these Burton Ions that are 2 pounds, 9 ounces. And then if you pair these up with any step-on binding, they're all very light. This is 1 pound, 9 ounces. This is 1 pound, 15 ounces. Now, when it comes to fit, I'm a size 9 and I'm an E width. In the past, Burton step-on boots like the Ions and the Photons and many other step-on boots I tried, I always needed to heat mold the out of the sides, to really press it out on the sides to fit my E-width feet, but they always fit great heel to toe. And they packed out a little bit, but not enough to be a deal breaker. You add a little boot fitting foam in the heel and everything was good. With the Waverange X and Waverange X Pro that I tried, I felt like these might run 1/4 to 1/2 size longer, but these fit my E-width feet really well. I didn't need to heat mold them, and that's a rare thing with Burton Step-On. So they definitely have a wider area up here, and they don't feel much wider around the ankle and heel. And it does have a very heat moldable liner, and it doesn't look like it's gonna pack out as much as older Burton liners. The insole that comes with this is okay, but you can do much better with a custom orthotic insole molded to your foot like you see here from Insole, or just going with something like the King Foam Orthotic Elite from Footprint Insoles that just has incredible shock absorption, or even a Remind insole like the Chad Otterstrom you see here. Now when it comes to the lacing system, this is a double BOA with the top focusing here and the bottom BOA focusing down here. One thing Jordan, our women's reviewer, pointed out is with this new coverage here, it's going to be very hard to replace BOA with this here. They might have to cut this off to get that to work, and that's kind of a bummer. But you get a great upper-lower separation, and that's much better than a lot of the BOAs Burton had that were just single BOA on the outside and then maybe an ankle strap like the Photon. This is very easy on and off. You still have that internal harness too, and then BOA's getting on, take a bit of twisting, sometimes popping it to adjust, but when you pop it out, it doesn't just shoot out like it used to. It holds, so it's a little easier to adjust and dial out when you're getting these on. And then when you want to get them off, they just pop, pop, undo the internal harness, and you're out. If you do have heel lift, you can buy Burton J-bars, and that can really dial in your fit. And if they're too tight, you can shave them down, cut them down, sand them down, and get your ideal fit. So let's talk flex and response. First off, let's look at the flex. This is just the the softest boot I might have ever tried in my life. And I thought the Waverange X Pro was soft, but this is even softer. And what I found is there's almost no response on the toe side, but then more response because you're engaging into that high back on the heel side. So it's a lopsided response. It's easy to get used to it, but I don't like it. I like symmetry when it comes to response. And one thing I find is if I'm really trying to carve or turn with a board that requires a lot more response than the counterbalance I tried with it, I really felt like the whole boot flexes forward and then your heel drives into this plastic part in the back. It's the only hard part in the boot, and it holds the step-on technology. It just drove my heel into there and hurt it. It felt like it was gonna rip off the skin of my heel if I tried to engage on a really hard carve. And it really makes step-on feel a ton less responsive. So if you're into that, that might work for you. And when it comes to flex retention, this articulating cuff helps, but this boot is just so soft. If you look here, you can already see it breaking down just from me riding it a few days and buttering it. It looks like it's using very high-end tech, but I'm not sure how durable it's gonna be over the course of 100 days of riding. Especially if you're in the park, that can often be more demanding and harder on boots than just riding the mountain. When it comes to shock absorption, you don't have much here. I really felt a stark contrast between getting out of the Waverange X and X Pro and then getting on the Burton Ions. I felt like I was walking on a cushion, where this feels a lot harder. It looks like there's a lot of shock absorption here, but there really isn't. It's made to work with step-on bindings that have a very shock absorbent footbed. But there is good board feel underfoot. I did feel a little bit better feel on these than I did the Ions, even though they're way far back in terms of response. When it comes to traction, you've got the Vibram outsole, call it what you will. It's excellent traction. It works in all kinds of conditions, and the traction doesn't change when it's super cold. In terms of footprint, it still seems to be the same as regular Burton boots, but when you're in step-on, you have an area right here in your heel that sticks out. So if you're doing really aggressive carves, you often hit that heel where you won't with non-step-on bindings. So overall, these are very soft, very unresponsive bindings in comparison to the rest of the step-on world that's usually excessively responsive. But they have a much more natural flex from tip to tail. If you're somebody who skates or surfs and wants a feeling that's much more natural, like you don't have boots and bindings, these could work for you. So there you have it.